Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Welcome to my light-sided series. Today we are looking at Capricorn, the sea goats. Hello, my sea goat friends. How are you? I hope that I didn't head fuck you too much when I was talking about the darker side of the Capricorns, because you guys are very concerned about your status and reputation, and well, the dark side of ones are. But yes, we're looking at all of the wonderful, happy things today, all of the good, the positive, the light sides of the sea goats. First of all, I see the representation of Capricorn these days tends to be more like just a goat, which is not accurate. It is the sea goat. So I want to pay homage to the truth of that, is that if you're missing the point of the sea goat, which is commonly misunderstood, as Capricorns are very, very misunderstood, is that you have the land mammal, which is the goat, that's bound to climbing highest peaks of the earth. And then in the top half of them is the goat, mountain goat. And then the bottom half of them is the tail of the fish, which is the amphibian, the fish. I'm not sure what category a fish falls into, but it's possibly in between reptile, possibly between mammal. I'm not sure, but you get my point. So we've got two different points operating in different directions. And the fish can't live on land and the mammal can't live in the sea. And so we've got this conflict of interest which is going on. And the opposite to Capricorn, if you don't know on the wheel, is Cancer, which is all about emotions and feelings. So I will say up front, when it comes to Capricorns, that this is a sign that their natal chart is mostly prevalently going to determine how they operate. And if you came across a Capricorn that had a lot of Taurus in their moon, or a lot of, say, Virgo in their moon, or they have Virgo in their Venus, then you're probably going to get a really strict, discipline-based Capricorn, which you're not really going to see a lot of emotion from that. Very cold. And that's what they're kind of known for. And I want to say, if you know anything about astrology, most people know that Capricorn can get a very unfairly, how would I word it? They would get really an unfairly representation. You know, they get this stamp put across them, which it's kind of a little bit like Scorpio. It's unfairly placed in this bracket of being categorized as something that they're not. And a lot of people are fascinated with Capricorns. I have been fascinated with the Capricorn for a while, as I'm part Scorpio. My sign is right on the edge between Sag and Scorpio. So I'm always looking for philosophical things in the Sag, and the Scorpion part of me is always looking to dive into the depths of hell. And I have had really interesting connections and relationships with Capricorns in my life. And you know, the beauty of these videos is that I'm able to share a lot of this knowledge that I've acquired about these signs, and you can kind of take it and do what you need to do with it. But for the most part, Scorpio is very mysterious, and a lot of people are very fascinated with our energy and our mysticism, and, you know, and they also are with the Caps, because they have kind of like an aloof, distant, cold shell, I guess you could say. But really underneath it, they have a very sensitive heart, although they are amazing at not showing it. And this is something that I really feel you really have to take the time to get closer to them and make the effort, I guess, to really get to know a Capricorn and understand how they function and learn more about them. And the more that you will find that you take the time to invest in a Capricorn will come around to you, to a sense. They will dip their toe in the water a little bit. Like, make sure there's no shark, make sure there's no sharks there before they come closer to you. But most of the time, Capricorn is quite aloof. I keep using that word already, but I mean, that's the best way to describe them. They keep people at arm's length. Let's just put it that way. They keep people where they need them. And if you can win a Capricorn's heart, then I will say up front, you can have a really, really romantic partner. And some of you might be listening going, Capricorn, romantic? No, you really can. The dark-sided Capricorns, I will say straight up in this video, go back and watch my dark-sided series in part 2. I think I explained the dark side. We're dealing with the Philistine bargain or the Philistine bargain. We are dealing with the devil himself. You couldn't get a more darker sign than a dark Capricorn. These guys are cold. Dark Capricorns are cold-blooded psychopaths. A lot of them end up as CEOs, as criminals, underworld bosses. I mean, you're dealing with a very deep and heavy earth sign because we're dealing with the center of the earth. We're dealing with hell. We're dealing with the inner part of planet Earth, and it's hot and fiery, and it is hell. I mean, Capricorn, it doesn't matter what tarot card system you look at, whether it's the Rider-Waite system or the Aleister Crowley system, the Thoth system. It doesn't matter what deck it is. We know the devil card is about materialism. It is about greed. It is about control. It is about manipulation. And a dark-sided Capricorn embodies all of those traits. So my best advice would be is if you have a dark Capricorn around you, you need to get the fuck away from them. And like I said before, just quickly, I don't want to go too much in the dark side, but I have to address it with this sign because so many Capricorns are dark. And you will be hard-pressed to find a Capricorn, male or female, that is not, to some capacity, a little bit psychopathic. But to find a light-sided Capricorn, I mean, you can have a really, really beautiful friendship. And they are deep lovers. They are. And I'm going to unpack a little bit around that and what my experiences is with dealing with Capricorn. But yes, I promise you, if you get to know them, they can be a great boss. They can be a great employee. They can be a great friend. So let's get into it. So Capricorns, for the most part, are very pragmatic, and they're kind of seen as high achievers. And that is one of the lightest and most wonderful things about a Capricorn, is that they are really trying to work out a strategy, work out a plan, execute the plan and follow it through and get what they need to get done. This is a very, very goal-orientated sign. And to me, that just sets my heart on fire because, I mean, I'm not really overly compatible with a lot of the air signs, to be frank, because they're too airy-fairy. I'm in between things. I don't really know how I feel. I need time to decide. Today I'm straight. Tomorrow I'm gay. I'm a boy today and tomorrow I'm a girl. Like that type of shit, that type of behavior, that type of mindset, that type of neurotic energy is not based in anything that is structural. There's no footstool to stand on with that. There's nothing concrete to work on with that. That to a Capricorn is absolutely worthless. That's why Capricorn sun sign people do not work well with air signs. It doesn't work. And it never has, never will. It just can't. These people are looking for structure, just like myself. So I'm looking for someone that is prepared to do this, prepared to build something beautiful with me and is prepared to do the fucking work. Okay, what is ambition without action? What is a dream without taking the first step? Capricorns know that. So these air signs that are kind of like they go into space, and we need these air signs because they're intellectual beings. They're very diplomatic and knowledgeable. But for a Capricorn energy, it is the absolute opposite of what a Capricorn is. They are looking for someone that makes them feel safe and someone that they can count on. So Capricorn has a lot of similarities just off the top of my head. that is very closely linked to the Sagittarius. And a lot of people will go, what, really, Sag? No, they do. Sag has a lot of similarities to Capricorn. Coming out of Sagittarius into Capricorn, I always find that when we go from one sign into the next sign, there is quite a few traits that can kind of come into the next sign, if that makes any sense. And it's said that we learn from the sign behind us and the sign in front of us. And Sagittarius and Capricorns, they shoot the arrow. Well, the Sag shoots the arrow and then chases after it, and the Capricorn gets to the top of the mountain goat climbs to the top, it gets to the top, trials and tribulations. Remember, they're born under Saturn. They get to the top of the mountain, and then they have the benefit of seeing the beautiful clear view because they've gotten that height. They've done the work to elevate themselves higher. Then they go on to the next mountain and the next mountain and the next mountain. And what started off as like a BMX bike track hump turns into a hill, and the hill becomes a smaller mountain, and that mountain becomes Kilimanjaro. It's all about expansion with the Capricorn, and I love that. So these guys are looking for someone that will be a life partner, okay? Now, this sign is aloof. Yet again, that word, much like the Sag, you don't really get to have this sign in a way of like life partner in the sense of like a traditional marriage. This sign as Capricorn is a lifer. They are around for life. But what they really want, if you're listening and you're dating a Capricorn, or you're wanting to get to know a Capricorn, or you are a Capricorn, you want a teammate. That's what you want. End of story. Case closed. If I stop this video recording right now, that's all you need to know. This sign needs a teammate that has got their back. Okay, they need someone that will defend them. They need someone that is reliable, practical. Okay, that is how you do it. Now, the darker side of Capricorn is pure evil. Like I mentioned before, you stay away from them. You don't go near them. There are only two signs that a dark Scorpio would fear. The only two signs that a Scorpio really fears would be an evil Capricorn or a really evil and twisted Gemini or possibly Aquarius, because they're just too crazy. A dark-sided Capricorn would push their own grandmother in front of a bus if it meant that they could advance their career, advance themselves. This is a very strategic sign that is looking to expand. Now, this gets very brutal when I talk about this sign. I can't not say it. Let's just give you an analogy right now. So I'll have a sip of tea. If I was a tennis player and I was learning to get better at tennis and improve my serve and my game and my match, I am not going to improve my tennis and evolve and get better and stronger as a player if I play with people that are shit at tennis. Okay, I'm not going to evolve any skill set, unless I have a teacher or a mentor or someone who has a skill set that has something to add to my repertoire. That's how we actually evolve. I know that sounds really mean, but that's actually what's going on here. That's life, guys. It's called evolution. Capricorns are very committed to this evolution, and they know that. They know it. So if you meet a Capricorn and all of a sudden they go quiet on you and they pull away from you, you didn't meet their needs. They considered you a lower level tennis player. And so there's one of two things. You can do a little bitchy, go, "Oh," or you can get over it and lift your fucking game. To me, that is secretly, I wish I had Capricorn more in my life, because these guys have I'm committed to self-improvement. By the way, I'm like, that's the whole point of a spirituality, guys. Like, the whole point of spirituality is mastery of self. And the title of the mastery of the wording that goes with the glimp of the sign Capricorn is I master. Sorry, I just burped. I use and I master. Okay? So don't be scared to lift your game. Don't be scared to hear the real shit. One thing that I was thinking the other day, which I'm thinking about actually doing, is a video on shadow work and giving you guys, or giving the world, or giving anyone who's listening, my definition of what shadow work actually is. Any level of divination is shadow work. That's one thing I just never ever hear anyone say in the spiritual community or in the tarot community, is the actual understanding that you're diving into something unknown from the subconscious mind to bring it into the conscious. That is shadow work. Every time you flip over a tarot card and look at it, you don't know what's on the other side of that. You don't know what that could... So see how that is the unknown. That is a willingness to see what is unseen. That is the point of tarot. And Capricorn is willing to see the unseen. And that is one of the most beautiful things that I find about them. They are interested in truth. Capricorns don't play games, don't fuck around with them. None of the earth signs are really. They can see that really quickly. Anyway, so I hope that this is making sense to you. Please don't take this the wrong way. Like this is not I don't want to make this a really mean video. I want to make it like beneficial to you. But yeah, if you had a Capricorn around you and they disappeared, other than them being really like hard to catch, which they are, I think kind of Capricorn in my mind is a lot like the one that got away, the fish that won't be caught. And there are Capricorns like that. But once you look at their moon sign and you find that it's in Sag, you'll be like, well, no wonder, because that's how Sag operate. Now, I would say that the good thing about a light-sided Capricorn is that they are actually secretly a family man. They want to build a house, get a family. They are very traditional in the sense of raising the kids and who cooks the bread, who eats the bread, who's bringing home the bacon, who's cooking the bacon, that type of thing. But they eventually end up traveling the world, going around, seeing the world, and then they begin to settle and they want to make a nest. So when a Capricorn is looking for a partner, they will shit test you to make sure you're the one. And this sign is capable of profound loyalty. The light-sided ones will stick it out. The dark-sided ones are like the Playboy mansion. Like that's how they are. And they're all just getting around in their sports cars. The dark-sided Capricorn is looking for a trophy wife. The light-sided Capricorn, I would say, how would I describe it if it was a character? It would be Hephaestus from Greek mythology. If you don't know Hephaestus, look him up. He had a relationship with Aphrodite, and he's very much in his masculine. He's like a craftsman. And Capricorns like to make things with their hands. Some people think that Capricorn is not creative. They are very creative. And following form and structure, Capricorns really like to make architecture. So they're very good at planning things like town planning, maps, building things, laying in pipes, that type of thing. Capricorns are very good like that. And so, yes, with the traditional masculine energy of a Capricorn, they are looking for their Aphrodite. They're looking for the embodiment of the divine feminine that they can protect and feel safe. So yes, this sign may not kiss you 1,000,000 times a day and hug you and love you in that real physical way. But what they are going to do is they're going to get up and go to work and get the money and bring the money in and build the house, go to the bank, get the loan, get the mortgage, and you will be safe. You will have financial security with this sign. And that is how a Capricorn shows you that they love you. This is a show me, don't tell me. Okay, they need physical proof of everything. If a Capricorn can't see it, if a Capricorn can't touch it, if a Capricorn can't smell it, taste it, doesn't even exist. Now, with the Capricorns, some of them can be religious zealots and completely insane. And other Capricorns would want nothing to do with religion. In fact, this sign would be the sign that for me would be the most least interested in any type of ideology that it's just no proof. Like prove God existed, prove there's a God. This sign is closely linked to that Virgo energy, which it's about deconstructing something, unpacking it, and understanding it on a physical, psychological level. This is not a sign that's up in the clouds with their head in the, some kind of like astral being. This sign in itself is the essence of the core of planet Earth. Okay, I want to make that really, really clear. So this is the internal part of the Earth that could not be more grounded than a Taurus or a Capricorn. Just how they are. So they have very, very high standards. Okay, so the Capricorn standards that they place on themselves are very, very high. A lot of Capricorns are prone to depression. Now, let's look at the word depression, because I feel that this word is also quite misunderstood. When I hear people, we've got to be very careful about the terminology that we use around mental health, because what I'm finding here is that a lot of people like to use this what I call off the hook language, which is something like, I got depression. Okay, I got depression. No. You didn't get depression. You are depressed. Okay? You can't win a battle with yourself if you are both sides. So the only way, if you're listening, and Capricorn would need to hear this the most, the only way to heal yourself or integrate a part of you that needs healing is to admit that you have something that is broken and is crying out in pain that needs to be healed. And so you are your depression, you are your emotions, you are your feelings, Capricorn, particularly with Capricorn. I want you to get that and get it good. If we had a broken leg, we would need to acknowledge that the leg is broken before we can work on treating that. Pain is a warning something's wrong. And Capricorn has a very strong relationship with pain. It's painful to be alive. It hurts to die, yes. It hurts to be birthed into the world. Capricorn has a very strong relationship with pain. Like I said in the Dark-Sided series, anyone born under Saturn, which is the ruling planet of Capricorn, is literally born under Satan, that big planet with the ring around it. Boundaries, limitations, restrictions. Yeah. You guys get the hardest gig of the Zodiac. Whatever will go wrong in a Capricorn's life will. Whatever will be taken from you will. Everyone that you ever loved will die and leave you or hurt you. Now, you can have a pity party about that. You can. But also look at it from a point of view of understanding that no resistance, no strength. You see, Capricorn light side is the nerdy kid that had no friends, that was bullied to the shithouse at school, that was told they weren't enough, literally told they weren't enough to their face, and somehow they turn it all around. They end up the millionaires. They end up on TV. They end up in movies. That's how they do it. This is a sign that will very quickly realize that they may be born into a family that just can't meet their needs very quickly. Capricorn won't even have a gripe about that and cry and be sad like a Pisces might or a Virgo might. They'll just recognize, you can't understand me, you can't receive me, I have to find a family outside of this family, and off they go. I think of the show Fresh Off the Boat, that show Off the Boat, where it's like, when I think of a Capricorn, and I know Capricorns in my life because I know a couple, they may grow up in a country that's like a third world country, that they know their country doesn't have the infrastructure, doesn't have a good government, isn't fair, the system's fucked. They know they just can't get their needs met in that country. So rather than struggling in that country and knowing that they just can't do that there, get what they want there, what they feel that they deserve there, they just go to another country. They'll just go to another country and just start from scratch. They'll have nothing more than their suitcase. And this is the most hardest working sign ever. So they'll have about 4 or 5 different jobs at one time. That's one of the greatest things about them. Their ability to juggle workloads is just unbelievable. You know, Capricorn's philosophy would be, if I need a hand, just grow 20 more. and they can. the insurmountable amount of work that a Capricorn can put on their shoulders. It's like, you think there's a straw that broke, the final straw that they placed on the camel's back that broke the camel's back? Nah. What a regular person could take and break won't break a Capricorn, not even come close to it. That's what they do. So yeah, within a few short years, they'll come to a country, they'll learn a new language, they'll integrate into a new culture, they'll get their certificate to say that they're a member of that country, and then they'll start a business. And then they'll go on and build and build and build and build and build and build. And it never stops until they die. That's just how they are. The light-sided Capricorns. And I commend that. It's a very admirable trait. And if you're a Capricorn right now, I just want to give you a big hug. I just want to give you a big hug because I really understand you and I really, really see the diligence and the dedication and the discipline. That's the word, discipline, that you guys have, the light-sided Capricorns have. And there's nothing wrong with having high standards, Capricorn, because I have high standards too. And if you don't meet those standards, it's not magically gonna, when it comes to attraction, you can't, for me, as a Scorpion, it's either on or it's off. In the first 30 seconds, in the first 3 seconds, I'll know. Yeah. Same with my art. When I'm making art, it's got, the concept of the work has to turn me on. And if it doesn't, I can't make that happen. Attraction isn't something like getting a board out and writing words on it and doing scribbles and variables and all this shit. Attraction is primal. It's either there or it's not. And Capricorn operate like that as well. So there's no point in trying to force love or trying to grow to a connection. The connection's either there or it's not. There's no in between. It's black or it's white. And that's what I was saying before, getting back to why they're not compatible with air signs so much, because an air sign is gray, it's purple, it's pink, it's a boat, it's a plane, it's, it's this, it's like, that's just not how Capricorn work. Okay. It's either for or against it. And Capricorn knows, if you're listening and you're a Gemini, this is for you too. Capricorn know in their heart that they will do better in life if they choose a side and are loyal to that side. They know that. Okay? If there was a nuclear bomb, think of American Horror Story Apocalypse, that season where it's like there's a nuclear fallout. It's actually a really good season. I actually really love that season, by the way. Capricorns would survive. Capricorn, in the nicest way, are like a cockroach. They mutate to preserve themselves. They get into positions that will be safe. They put themselves in, they'll suffer for it. They'll suffer for their security, but they will stay alive. Capricorns are survivors. Capricorns are survivalists. That show, like the Sagittarian energy, Naked and Afraid. They strip you off, out in the bush, out in the forest, out in the African safari. You get a bit of flint, a machete, no clothes, no shoes, no sun protection, no food, and you have to last 21 days. Capricorn would get through that easily. They're very strategic. These guys are great at chess. I've played some of the greatest chess games I've ever played, or any type of board games. They're very good like that. They really, really are. It's a pleasure to be around a Capricorn. For me, Capricorn, Leo, Sag, they're pretty up there for me personally. When I think of Capricorn light side, I think of their ability to maneuver and how flexible they are. And this is a silly thing because really silly people or people that don't understand this sign would think that Capricorn's very rigid and not flexible, but that couldn't be further from the truth. These guys can, I've got two really good examples for you, movie-wise. Think of the movie Maze Runner. That movie where it's like going through mazes and, one step to this side and jump over here and that door's closing and slide through there and climb up that. They're very good like that. A really good analogy that I would use for a Capricorn would be the Xbox and PlayStation game that's been around, and it's a testament for how long this game's been out for. It's Prince of Persia. That would be Capricorn. It's like that Ubisoft game where they like he'll walk into a room and all of a sudden poison darts will shoot out of the wall, or the floor will drop under his feet and there'll be like a pit of spikes. Somehow he'll run up the wall and do a side swing and then do a backflip and grab onto like a piece of concrete and shimmy his way and then do a flip off that. They're very adaptable, very strong grip, very strong hands, the Capricorn. They can figure out puzzles. They're very good with problem solving. And their eyes, like if you ever look at a Capricorn, a lot of them have darker eyes. I don't find light-sided Capricorn, I don't find Capricorns have darker eyes, which are usually brown. A lot of brown eyes Capricorns I've noticed. They're very quick on their feet and their eyes are always darting around the room, always moving around. They can't just keep their eyes still on one thing. They're very agile, kind of like a cat a little bit. So that would probably be the best and accurate example of a Capricorn's disposition, kind of a little bit, I think I've nailed it. I feel like that really, what I just said there really articulates how I feel about a Capricorn. So they're very good to maneuver themselves. They can sense danger and they're just really strategic. This is a sign that does the preparation. They don't leave it to the last minute. They'll come into a meeting. They know what they want to go, where they want to go with the meeting, what they want to do, what they want to say. They bring notes. They're very prepared. Even if they had a big night out the night before, they will show up to work on time, organized. And I love that. Just thinking more about Capricorn examples. If you know the film Entrapment it's got Sean Connery in it and Catherine Zeta-Jones. It came out around 99, year 2000. And it was like two mastermind thieves that were able to pull off this big kind of heist. It's a really good film. And actually, I watched it the other week. It still stands up quite well because I'm in lockdown. So I watched that film, and the level of dedication that those two, like Sean Connery's character had, and like how they trained each other and pushed each other and worked in sync. They were able to, this is the sign that could like go into a bank and pull off a bank heist, and like the sign that could do backflips and, slide in between laser grids and then take off the mask off the, take off the gemstone or the ruby and then, slide back out of the bank in the night. You wouldn't even know. They're absolute bosses like that. Precision, precision, precision. To tell a Capricorn that their work is not the best or is slightly off or there was spelling mistakes. Oh my God. Capricorn internally would punch themselves in the stomach. They would torture themselves for that. Okay? Their level of work is impeccable, and they're looking for a teammate who will go on an adventure with them, travel with them, and work out problems with them. That's what they're looking for. This sign, Capricorn, would be really good on the TV show Survivor because they're very strategic. They would be very good on the show. What's that show where they like do challenges around the world and shit? What's that one? Fuck. Oh my God, I've gone blank. I had it in my mind just before I think it's gone now in my head. Amazing Race. Yeah, that's the one. They'll be on Amazing Race. They'd be really good at that, like getting off at an airport, going to a challenge, figuring out the puzzle, getting on the next bike, getting on the like that type of thing. Very, very good like that. So anyone that foils their plans or is incompetent or is stupid, Capricorn has no time for that. So once they tell you something and you said that you understood it, Capricorn will expect you to understand it and not fuck up. Do not fuck up. Mistakes will be made, but you need to adapt quickly around a Capricorn. That's how they like it. Okay? Straight up. Now, in relationships, these guys probably would go into a business with their partner. A lot of them have cafes, restaurants, they're in hospitality. Like I said, that Prince of Persia energy. So working in hospitality, it's a lot of energy, a lot of people coming through the door. They'd have like 25, 30, 50, 60 tables going at one time. They're very good with memory. They'd know what everyone wanted, and they create an experience for people to enjoy their pleasure of their company. So they're very good on their feet. They're very good with like entering in data and remembering what she had and what drink she ordered and what he wanted. They're very good in high stress situations. They're very good. They're very good at unpacking messiness. So if you have a messy life, Capricorn will get in there and get you fucking organized. Very, very rarely do I come across a Capricorn where their whole life is just a complete clusterfuck. I'd have to look very carefully at their moon and where their Venus is for that, if it wasn't. This sign is a high achiever. Okay? Now, Capricorn in sex, these guys know how to fuck. Okay? So you need to know how to fuck with a Capricorn. If you're not having sex with a Capricorn in a relationship, it's not a relationship to them. Okay, the goat will stray. The goat's eyes will look, I'll wander off into the, better things out there for me. I'm out. Now with Capricorns, respect has to be earned. It is not given automatically. Okay. And they don't want to phone it in either. The light-sided Capricorn, say if they wanted to bother making a cake, they don't want a cake mix. They don't want to just add water and put in a bit of milk. They would go out, seek out the ingredients, bring it back, and make a beautiful cake that is made from the heart and has soul. And they would feel more proud of that than kind of doing a cheat sheet. Capricorns, the light-sided Capricorns don't want to cheat. They want to experience life in all of its agonizing glory, and that means failure. Capricorns, the best thing about them is that they don't give up. Their persistence is just, I get knocked down, I get punched, I get back up, I get knocked down. And these are really heavy blows. They could work on a project that wasn't successful for years. The Capricorn don't stay down long. They get back up. They just keep going. And that in itself for me is like, oh my God, like if you're a Capricorn and you feel like I'm really explaining you right now, I am giving you the biggest hug, because so many signs, like so many people just don't have that level of strength. And the level of strength that we really need needs to be measured by our failures. Like how many times have we failed? And we just kept on going, we just kept on pushing on through, kept on persevering. And it's the perseverance of the water that just cuts through the rock. It does it over time. Like it's over time. It's the devil's in the detail, Capricorn. It really is. So yeah. And I think that's why a lot of them have this kind of thirst for life. They want to learn new culture. They want to learn about the world. They want to go in and immerse themselves. They'll eat the scorpion. They'll eat the rattlesnake. They'll, sleep out. This is not a precious sign. They don't need to be in some luxury hotel. They'll stay in a tent. They'll sleep on the beach in a swag. They don't give a fuck. Okay. And another good thing about a light-sided Capricorn is that they don't actually give a fuck whether you like them or not. This is how I am. Take me as I am or fuck off. That's the attitude of a Capricorn. Now, Capricorn in love, by the way, I love that. Capricorn in love, although it's not seen a lot, they are romantic and they do very romantic gestures. They'll buy you little gifts. They'll leave you flowers, roses. If they believe in their heart that love is real and that, you should never give up on true love. And they will fight for love as well. Okay, so they'll book you a flight somewhere. They'll take you somewhere. They will court you. They want to build a relationship with you just as much as they want to build the business. If they could build both with you, then that would be the best. They'll do more for you than a Leo will. Let's put it that way. They just do. A lot of Capricorn fathers do a lot for their kids financially. They just do. So from the outside, a lot of them look like kind of robotic, kind of cold-hearted a little bit. That's just their shell. That's their demeanor. That's how they want to come across. Capricorns don't want people standing over them And this is a sign that will not stray away from confrontation. And in a workplace, they don't like someone like pushing them or telling them, looking down on them. So very quickly, they'll work themselves up to be a manager very quickly. But yeah, they understand that if, life is full of boundaries, and if someone pushes their boundary, they're pushing it to see if there is a boundary. And so Capricorn does have a limit, and when that limit is cut, they will get aggressive. The goat will charge. It has horns, okay? So yes, Capricorn is a mystery worth solving. These guys, for me, are the undiscovered treasures of the Zodiac. And that is why I admire them so much. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There isn't a lot of mystery with this sign. I feel like what you see is what you get, and they kind of like that. What they like everything out on the table where you can see it. That's how they do life. That's how they do relationships. And they're like easy breezy. That's how they are. Like, they don't want to have some kind of mind game bullshit going on. Yet again, they would not be compatible with a Gemini. They would not be compatible with an Aquarius. And it's their determination and ambition which really gets them somewhere in the end. It's that persistence. Like I said, they are builders. And all of the resistance that you've had, if you're a Capricorn listening in this video right now, is the thing that gave you that strength to begin with. And that is what makes you of such substance. In your heart, you've got like marble, rock hard rock inside of you. And it's strong. And it's not easily broken. And if something doesn't seem to be working for you guys, you shift your tactic. You don't give up. You don't just quit. You guys just shift your angle and you look at it from a different point of view. I think of Muhammad Ali. He was a Capricorn. Incredible man, incredible life. Like when he passed away years ago, I think it was like 2016, 2015, I cried. I never even knew Muhammad Ali, but I just knew his story and I knew about all of the things that he'd gone through. And I just felt his power. I feel his energy in that Capricorn. Also, J.R.R. Tolkien was a Capricorn as well, that novel writer. Very lengthy books that he wrote. Very well-structured writing. So I feel like I've really covered a lot here. They really are a beautiful sign to deal with. If they are in a partnership with you, a light-sided Capricorn, like if it's a girl, like she wants a partner that she can grow with. So if you grow, she grows. That's how she sees it. Very good in negotiation. And yes, they are shrewd in business. Yes, this sign does invest wisely. They're playing a long-term game. They'll invest into something that will bring them a high return. And part of the strategy, or part of the challenge of a Capricorn's existence is trials and tribulations, which is what happens under Saturn anyway. But when you look at the sea goat, you're seeing a goat that's trying to crawl up a mountain but has no legs to walk. So it's like every step that you take, every little crust of bread that you get has to be a struggle. You're crawling and inching your way up the hill when you have no legs. So I think that's a pretty strong way to look at them. And this sign is form follows function. To a Capricorn, it would be ridiculous to make a chair that you can't even sit on. Why would you make a chair you can't even sit on? Just so it looks pretty. That would be ridiculous. It's form follows function. Function is important to a Capricorn. What it looks like, not just what it looks like it's solid, it's stability, it's structure. That's what they are. Like that's how they work. All right. So there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So I'm going to finish this video. I really hope that you've enjoyed me really diving into how I feel about this sign, the beautiful sea goats, the light side of the Capricorn. I just love them. I love Capricorn. I've got, the dark Capricorns are hell to deal with and I stay away from them. The light-sided Capricorn, if you're a Capricorn out there and you want to work on a project, fucking DM me, hit me up, because I know you guys are going to see it through. I know you guys want to create work and put it out into the world that is beautiful. You want to build something beautiful, and I'm all for it. I'm so into Capricorn, And, I'm sorry that other people just cannot see how incredibly sensitive you really are and your power and depth. You are very deep. Love it. So please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Help my channel grow and my humble little channel that I've got going on. I know some of these videos are triggering to people because they're real and it's raw and nothing's off the table. I like to tell the real shit. And this is how I feel about this sign. Next, I think we are moving into the air signs, so we will be moving on. This brings us halfway through the light-sided series in podcast form. And to those of you that have been asking me if I'm okay, I am still not fully okay, but I'm getting there. And the lockdown is slowly lifting here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. But it is going to take me quite a bit of time to get back to where I was and, regain some level of functionality and structure in my life. But I have Capricorn in my chart. So I'll be okay. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I will let you go and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for holding space for me today and sending love to all of these beautiful Capricorns, Capricorn. And be well. Be well. Bye.